basketball analysis with over 70 years combined experience. This is the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast.
NBA, some college, a little bit of everything.
You know, what can I say? But it wasn't going to happen here with him.
The rule came into being in the NBA. Forget about the ABA. They had it about the NBA instituted it in 1979-80. It happened to be Larry Bird's rookie year, by the way. Okay. That year, here are some of the team totals, shots attempted, 3-point shots in an 82-game schedule. The number one team was San Diego, with Brian Taylor leading the league in attempts, 239 attempts, and the team had 543. The Celtics attempted 422 threes. Now, the Lakers, in an 82-game schedule, attempted 100 threes that year. 100. Atlanta, 114. But here we go. Excuse me, Kansas City. That would be Sacramento today. The Atlanta Hawks, the first year of the rule, took 75 threes.
Wow.
Now, let's fast forward 5 years later. 5 years into digesting what the three could be. The number one shots attempted were down. The number one shots attempted was Utah, 317, which is more than 200 fewer than San Diego took the first year. The Celtics, having taken 422 the first year, in the fifth year, said, that shot stinks. They took 229.
Oh, my God, half.
55. Larry Bird, in the fifth year of the rule, was 18 for 73 for the season. 5 years in, okay? Atlanta, 106 attempts. Chicago, 117. This is for the whole season. Philadelphia, 107. Now we want to back up to the 1980 All-Star game, Larry's first year. The final score was East 144, the West 136 in overtime. Okay? How many three-point shots attempts do you think there were total between the two teams?
10.
7.
Ha!
The only one made was Larry Bird. He made the first three-pointer in the history of the All-Star game. He was 1 for 2. The West was 0 for 4.
That's unbelievable.
Okay, now it was toxic. There were coaches who were thinking it was a bad shot. You get benched for the shots that are routine today are unimaginable, because now, thanks to Curry and also Caitlin Clark, you're 3 and 4 steps behind the arc now.
Right.
And more people can do it because they practice it all the time. Okay. So the point I'm getting at is it was not, now in the let's go the second year, the 1981 playoffs, when the Celtics won Larry Bird's first championship with the big three. Okay. There were 17 games in the playoffs. In the 17 games, Larry Bird, who we associate with the 3-point shot, was 3 for 7. And in the clinching 6th game, hit the only 3 in the game. And Johnny Most went crazy. A 3-pointer from the corner. Oh, Larry Bird. He had a 3-pointer in game 6 that put it away. And he was 3 for 7 in the entire 17 games of the playoffs. That's how much the 3 meant. That people didn't. Now, it took 10 years until 88, 89 before any team in the league took as many 3-pointers as Steph Curry took last year, personally.
Wow.
And that wasn't even Steph Curry's high. Steph Curry last year attempted 784 threes.
Holy cow.
His high was in 2015-16 when he attempted 886 threes. And last year he was down from the year before, when he attempted 876. Okay? It took 10 years, 88, 89, before two teams actually took more threes than Curry took last year. That year, you know what team surprised me? The first team to break the 1,000-shot barrier were the Knicks. I wouldn't have associated them with that at all. Okay. So that's where we are, folks.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
that's how we came from. It was not, I mean, people didn't know what to do with it. It wasn't important. Larry was the first one to make it a pure psychological weapon.
Right. It was a dagger.
Larry made it, he saved it for the big moment.
Right.
And then as time went on, but he didn't take many in the first half, for example, as a rule. And in those days, in the early days. But, and by the way, in 88, 89, that year that took 10 years for a team to do what they had done and what they did. That year, Larry was hurt, only played 6 games.
Yeah.
Celtics that year they were 78 for 309. That's all they were, 309 attempts in 82 games, 10 years into the rule. Without Larry, they just stopped doing it. 78 for 309.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, it's just amazing. All right. So that's where we came from. Now, the most important name in the evolution of the three was Daryl Morey. Now, do you remember him when he was with the Celtics? I never met him.
I think I maybe met him once because he was friends with Sean Sullivan, and everybody knows Sully. So I think because I was doing the pregame and postgame show, so I was around, but I wouldn't say that I knew him.
Well, I was around. But I never met him. He was the vice president of operations starting in 2002, and at the Celtics. And of course, he then goes to Houston, and in 07, and he spends 13 years there. Now, I've forgotten. He got a degree, his PhD or whatever the hell it was, master's is from MIT.
Right.
And he instituted the Sloan Conference that every year. I went to the first couple, but I still didn't meet him. Okay, but he's the guy that gave us the idea that 3's better than 2. Put it in and got the metrics on it, and the most odious phrase that in basketball for me. The worst shot in basketball is the long 2. We can attribute that to Daryl Morey. Okay? Right. And I say that what we have now is a complete Daryl Moryification of basketball.
Daryl Moryification. It's true.
That's what we have. Okay. So Joanne, that's where we are. But I don't ever remember Bill Fitch saying to Larry or me, I never heard it. And I never heard Larry tell me that Bill didn't want him to take any threes. I can't believe that. He might want him to be judicious, and Larry was judicious, I think, by nature. Oh, by the way, one more thing. If you recall, Larry said he didn't like the 3 at the time, and there were 2 reasons at that time that he didn't like the 3. The first one he said was that the referees didn't always get it right, that sometimes they allowed, depending where the people's feet were,
right,
they didn't count a 3 that should have been counted, or they counted a 3 that should have been a 2. Well, that's been rectified, obviously, by video replay, which we have. Right. Didn't have it in 79, 80, 81, right. Okay? The second one is, this is Larry. God love him. He didn't think that if you're up by 2, you should get beat by a 3. He didn't like that aspect of it.
Right.
That sense of fair play. And he thought there was a gimmick shot. Right. And let's remember what the 3 is. Right. By the way, I've preached this. I will preach it till the day I die. It's the gimmick of a promoter. The 3-point shot. Now, the idea may have been floating around, but nobody took it seriously. Abe Saperstein, the impresario of the Harlem Globetrotters, founded a rival league in 1961, people, called the American Basketball League, not the American Basketball Association. That's later. The American Basketball League. He founded a league that was supposed to be in opposition to the NBA, signed some draft picks away from the NBA that year, and he needed a gimmick, and he had a gimmick, 3-point shot. So that's where it was introduced for the greater public. It was in 1961 in his league. His league folded in the middle of the second year. They crowned one champion, Kansas City Steers. I think Bill Bridges was on that team. Anyway, the league folds, and the Eastern League, which was then the second best league in the world. If you weren't in the NBA, you went to the Eastern League. They picked it up. And then in 1966, when the ABA came into being, they needed gimmicks, and they had the 3 and the red, white, and blue ball.
Right. That's what I remember, the red, white, and blue ball with the 3. Right.
So that's it. But no one was asking for it. I'm telling you. No, when Dave Saperstein foisted it on America, nobody was asking for it.
So Bob, maybe you can remind us. I know when the leagues merged, right? The ABA and the NBA merged. How did the 3 come into play?
Yeah.
The NBA.
Well, the leagues merged, but the benefits were enormous. The ABA 4 teams came in, and in that first All-Star game that of the post merger, of the 24 players, 10 were ex-ABA players.
Right.
And that sobered,
Dr. J, Gilmore.
That sobered up people, believe me. And off we go. But they imported the 3, and they had some 3-point shooters, Don Busey and what's his name, from Louis Dampier, guys like that, and of course Brian Taylor. And Brian Taylor led the league in attempts the first year they put it in, but it didn't take the league by NBA by storm. It was feet wet. You got your little toes in the water. And now of course you're 6 feet under, but that's how it started. But it wasn't a big strategic thing. Larry was the first one to strategize it in the league. Seriously, people don't, he was, and he used it judiciously, but because he just thought it was kind of cheesy. I'm serious.
Okay.
So,
how did it affect Chris Ford's career?
Well, it helped Chris. He made the first one. He drifted into the corner on a fast break, got the pass, set those feet, and his first one, Chris barely shot a jump shot. He had a one-hand set, and he got off the ground. You couldn't get the morning paper under his feet, that I can still see it, and now that's what you're taught to do, run to the corner. But he was the first one to do it in the NBA that night that we know of. We know we made the first shot because our game started at 7. That's why, it's just a matter of, we know that was the first game in progress, right. and he made the first one. But he had a run that year where, he made like a 3-pointer in like 18 out of 19 games. We were just, I was writing then. I'm making a big deal out of this, about, he'd make 1 a night, but, that was a big deal. But, Chris, it helped Chris. There's no doubt. It was good for Chris.
I remember that. That was great.